Hey guys, JB here from Alpha Wolf Consulting, coming to you today with another lesson in the self belief course, which is my process of using self belief in achieving my goals. So, to understand this is just to understand when we understand self validation and we understand self belief, we're able to sit there and build up ourselves to be able to achieve any goal. And when I start to feel insecure or doubt about myself, I'm able to catch myself in that negative sort of cycle, and I'm able to artificially break it and curate a new cycle. So things like if I hear myself saying, well, oh, this just isn't for me. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe this, maybe that. If I catch myself saying that and then I'm feeling defeated and down and I'm sort of giving into that, I'm able to curate a new language and artificially run that pattern or program to be able to re-empower myself. So when I feel myself saying like, maybe I'm not good enough, I'm able to say, but you are good enough. You can do this. You know, you've just got to keep going. Look at all the things you've done in your past. Does that sort of make sense? So what we're looking to do is we're looking to change our state from being one that reacts to the emotions that I feel and one that basically curates whatever emotions I want to feel within myself. So if I want to feel like I'm good enough, I have to use language that, you know, facilitates that feeling, that backs it up, that keeps progressing it forward. So if I'm feeling like I'm not good enough, then I have to shift to say, yes, you are good enough. This is why I believe you're good enough, and I start giving myself all the achievements that I've done within my life. And what I'm able to do with self validation is in that course, we learn that, well, what are my thoughts and beliefs, and what are artificial or external thoughts and beliefs that I've just picked up along the way. Because when I'm able to do this, well, then I'm able to say, well, why do I not feel good enough? Why am I feeling not good enough? Is it because I'm not putting in the work? Is it because I'm not taking any actions forward and I'm standing in place? Is it because, you know, I have these negative thoughts or limiting beliefs that have been implanted in my subconscious mind from childhood, from all the times people tore me down? Maybe it's my external environment is people that are just constantly filling my head with useless information and doubt. Maybe they're sitting there trying to confuse me and make me second guess myself so that I do not progress forward. There are many, many reasons. But what we want to understand is, well, if I'm able to create my identity of self, of who I view myself as, and if I'm able to instill empowering language patterns, narratives, and stories into my conscious awareness or my conscious communication with myself. Okay. If I'm able to analyze my feelings and decipher what those feelings are trying to tell me from my subconscious. So if I have a feeling of lack, of not feeling good enough, then we know in the subconscious mind there is a program or a narrative running where my subconscious mind is telling me that I'm not good enough. So I had this within my own life where I never felt good enough. I never believed I was good enough. So no matter what I thought consciously, I always felt different. So if I was doing well and I was putting in the work, I didn't feel like I was doing well. I felt like I was failing. I didn't feel worthy. I didn't feel good enough. And what we have to do is we have to understand, and in the self-validation course, we've got the understandings on Psych-K, psychology, kinesiology, and full brain activation. So we're able to understand, well, if I activate through my hemispheres, my full brain, what I'm able to do is I'm able to artificially reinforce positive narratives and reprogram any negative narrative or limiting belief or thought into a positive one within my subconscious mind. So we have to just understand, if I'm trying to achieve my goal, but it can either be my conscious thought and language. I'm over analyzing. I'm telling myself all these stories of how I'm not good enough. I'm comparing myself to others. Or it could be the unconscious, where I have unconscious language patterns and narratives that are running that make me feel less than, that make me feel not good enough, that make me feel like I can't do this. And then we work on reprogramming them through conditioning. Okay, so through conscious conditioning, we can reprogram any narrative or belief or story or however we want to think about it, into being an empowering and positive one. And if we're able to stack our deck, where my conscious mind is running positive narratives, my subconscious mind is running positive narratives, I've broken all my limiting beliefs, and I'm able to fuel myself while achieving that goal, to where when things go against me, I'm able to create new narratives and I'm able to adapt and overcome to any situation. So that if I'm moving forward and then all of a sudden someone stops me and puts artificial roadblocks, I can just turn in a new direction and go in a new direction. If what I'm trying to achieve in life, the only way to get it recognized is to have it certified, and I don't agree with that, I can just run it uncertified. Do you see? Like these limiting beliefs of there is only one path to the goal. We should all be like water. When water meets a rock, it goes around that rock. If there's enough water and the water meets that rock, it lifts that rock and it just pushes it back. So we can either push the challenges and obstacles in our life forward to our goal, or we can simply divert and go around them and avoid them altogether. We don't have to sit there and try and break every problem that faces us, every challenge. Should my goal be to create my own education? Let's say I want to create my own schooling system, private to the government, private to the education system. Should they say I have to be certified? Who are they? Do I want to be a part of their club? Do I want to be a part of their group? If the answer is yes, then I must become certified. If the answer is no, then I can just continue on my way. I do not need to overcome other people to continue on my way. It's just, if I want to do things with them the way that they have set it up, I must follow the rules that they have created. For the reason they created the rules was so that people would be forced to follow them. So that's the thing. Let's say you're trying to start a business and it's like, I don't have the capital. Do you need the capital? Why, sure. Having money in a startup is always going to be a great thing, because it lets us move at a quicker rate. It lets me do things, now, rather than having to learn them on my own, rather than having to go out there and find new customers. I can just run advertising. Even better, I can just hire a company to run the advertising for me. It doesn't matter. Should I become bombarded by inbound calls? well, then I can just hire people out. Whereas if I don't have the money, then I have to do everything on my own. But that's the thing. We don't need anything in life. We have two hands, we have 2 feet, we have one brain. We can move towards whatever we want in life. So if we find ourselves becoming bogged down in the challenges, obstacles, blockages, problems of what we are trying to do, we can choose to take a step back and say, is this the path I want to travel? Do I want to have to overcome every one of these blockages, every one of these challenges or problems? Or maybe is there a better solution? Is there a better path that I can follow? That's the thing. Should I want to get my education system recognized and funded by the government? Well, it all has to be certified by the government. If I do not want to, it does not have to. That's the thing. If I want other people to validate me, I must do things how they want them to be done. If I validate myself, I don't need others' opinions or validations for me. That is why self-validation is so important in understanding self-belief, because if I'm always validating others or validating myself externally through others, I require their validation before I can believe within myself. If I validate myself from within, I only need myself to believe in myself. So by building it up, by creating processes on how we build ourselves up when we feel insecure, when I feel like the road ahead is full of problems and obstacles to overcome, that is me just feeling insecure. Because what I see as a problem to someone who has been doing it for 20 years is not even a minor inconvenience to them. So we've just got to understand, am I seeing the problems for what they are? Okay. Are they all 10-meter tall walls that I have to climb over? Or are they just some curbs that I can easily just step over? You know, is this path the right path for me? Or is there another path that I could follow that doesn't have all these obstacles on there, all these challenges and roadblocks? Do I even need to overcome these challenges and obstacles to achieve my goal? Like, that's one of the funny things, is so many in business will tell you how it has to be for you to succeed, what you need to do. You know, you need a business plan. You need this, you need that. You need to have a marketing expert, a sales expert. You need to have front of house, your admin. You need to have your outbound, your inbound. You need to have the ability to deliver and all of this. You need to have this software, that software. Like, there is all of these external obstacles that are being put on the path by people's egos. Should I live within my ego has to overcome those obstacles. Otherwise, those obstacles were too difficult for me. So that's an important thing to understand, is just that when I feel like I see all of these challenges in front of me, am I looking at it through my higher consciousness, or am I looking at it through my ego? Am I seeing these challenges in reality, or am I seeing them skewed, by my perception? Am I seeing things bigger than they are? You know, all of this, when I feel lack, negative, self doubt, not good enough, is that coming from within me, or is that an external factor that I'm feeling? Is that is that a belief or a thought or a feeling that I'm validating for myself, or is that something that is an external feeling, thought, or belief that I'm validating in place of my own? Do I have the processes and the procedures to build myself up as I'm feeling at my lowest? As I start to feel less than myself, do I have processes to where when I start to feel insecure, that I start building myself up? What about this that you did? What about this? Look at all that you have accomplished. Do you know what I mean? Rather than waiting until I hit breaking point to rebuild myself, I can, as I start to feel insecure, as I start to feel doubt, as I start to feel lack or not good enough, I can just build myself up. So that's an important thing, that if I'm not waiting until it reaches breaking point to put in the effort to rebuild it, to build myself up, well, I'm going to be able to move towards my goals a lot quicker with less down days, with less of those low days. Not to say that we don't all have low days. It's part of the process. It's part of feeling on direction, where I'm moving towards what I want in life, and then feeling lost, scattered, without direction. Because it's usually when we feel like, we've hit that last, roadblock, and it should be the goal next. And then it doesn't happen. And then we're sort of sitting here thinking, I was meant to reach the goal. That was meant to have been the last action. Now what? Now we recalibrate, we redistance ourselves to the goal, and we keep moving forward. Like, do we have processes and procedures within ourselves to, when I feel like I have done what I needed to do, but I don't have the results that I want? Well, what is the next action for me to take? What is the next direction for me to travel? What do I need to be doing? When I feel less than within myself, so emotions and feelings, the subconscious mind, how do I overcome them? Is this just a temporary feeling because of a situation that I've experienced? Is this a temporary feeling because of my external environment that I'm associating with? Or is this something that where I'm feeling less than, which would indicate that it's a subconscious narrative or language pattern that is causing it? And then on the conscious side of it, am I over analyzing and doubting myself? Am I creating fear within myself because I'm focused on, well, this didn't happen, that didn't happen, and I'm directing all my attention to the negativity in my life? The key to using self-belief is just understanding, well, self-belief is focusing on positive. So what we want to do is have processes that, should I find myself in my conscious mind focusing on the negative, I have positive processes that run. Should I realize that my subconscious mind is analyzing, is focusing on the negative, well, then I have ways to reprogram and redirect to the positive. Should I find that the actions and direction, or the actions and the information that I had was wrong, then I have processes to realign and recalibrate and redirect towards my goal. Like it doesn't matter. But what we want to do is, by me having processes and ways to adapt to each of the situations that may come up, be it if I'm overanalyzing, well, I just need to redirect my focus to the positive and stop focusing on the negative. Should I find that my subconscious mind has limiting beliefs, then I reprogram those limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs. Rather than me going, well, oh, I have this limiting belief and, I just can't do this, and then just throwing my hands up in the air and giving up. It's like, wait a minute. Let's sit here for a bit. Let's figure this out. Let's get through this one. Because if we get through this one, we keep moving forward. If we throw our hands up in the air and walk away, we're going backwards. That's not a good way to do it. So by focusing on moving forward and keeping the momentum, okay, whenever something tries to pull me off that momentum, I just redirect onto the momentum and I just keep it progressing. And I keep looking at the direction that I'm going, the goal. And maybe it looks closer. And then I do a large stint where I walk a long distance. And it's looking further away now. Like sometimes life happens like that, where we think we're just there and we can see it. And then we keep moving forward. And we realize it was an optical illusion. We're not actually that close. So, like, that's an important thing. Am I still moving towards my goal? And it was a further distance than I had realized. Or am I walking in a direction that doesn't go towards my goal? And I need to redirect back towards my goal. This can also happen, you know? So what we want to do is we want to minimize the time we are down and out with ourselves, and we want to maximize the time we are moving forward so that our progression is just continuous. That way, what we're able to do is we're able to build our self-belief through the momentum that we have gained. If I am already running a race, okay, my belief that I can achieve finishing that race is going to be much higher than prior to starting, because I'm already halfway through it. Like it's already in motion. Do you see? So that's an important thing to understand, is just that if we're already in motion, okay, and the self-doubt comes, we're already in motion. It's okay that we feel self-doubt, but we're already doing what we need to do. All we have to do is just keep doing it. And if we can keep doing it, eventually we will reach the goal that we want. So our self-belief and our self-validation are just tools to keep us moving forward, so that we can bring down and minimize any negativity, and we can increase our positivity and empowerment, so that each step of that race is more empowering than the next. Each step builds us, gives us more life, more energy, more motivation. Do you see? If we can get into that frame of mind, even if my self-doubt is bringing me down, I am able to see the actions that I have already taken as empowerment. That's okay that I'm self-doubting, but I've already built empowerment within myself. Do you see? All right. Well, I hope you understand this one. I hope this one was really good for you. And that's the end of this lesson. All right. Have a great day. Thanks so much. Bye.